Good morning. Welcome to Gatwick in London. Here we are again, back in the easyjet. Well, not back in the easyjet, but back in the A319ceo for a second round of flying. Hopefully, not so much of a bouncy landing as we saw in the last stream with this aircraft, which happened last month. Which first month of streaming, and so far full of really shitty landings. I've had a bit of practice in this little bird, and I think I might have it a bit more down pat. Let's go to the cam. I actually have not. Wow, that's really bad. Let's adjust some lighting on that one. Picking up my white legs, I am in shorts because it is coming to summer here in Australia. Of course, coming into winter in the UK. Is that a bit better? Looks really dark on there today. Why? Why are you so dark? Well, we can see the controls, so let's oh, it's just shocking. There's not much I can really do about it. I don't know why my camera's looking weird. Strange. I must have adjusted some settings in there. Let's tilt it up a little bit. Oh, that's terrible. Anyway, we're going to roll with it. You can see the main event on the screen anyway. Let's jump straight into. Let's kill the music for a start. Get rid of that. Let's jump straight into the aircraft. So we are set up, ready to go. We are heading up from Gatwick in London to Aberdeen, Scotland. Just a short trip. It's about 1 hour's flying time. I have had quite a few practice runs into Aberdeen. It is completely and utterly windy. It's been a three-wheel landing every single time I've gone up in there. But let's just have a look at some Metar data. Oh, for crying out loud. Are you actually serious? Just not winning tonight. Wow, that is completely and utterly shocking. Let's try changing some settings. Let's go back to Metar. Wow, that is just ridiculous. We're not going to have Metar today. Why? Why is this doing it to me? Let's try closing the app, reopening it, reconnecting the iPad. Is it going to work? Let's have a look now. Is the Metar working? Yes! Yay! I don't know what happened there, but it is back. The camera still looks like shit, but let's just go with it. I could just turn the webcam off, but then you won't be able to see. I mean, you can sort of see. Anyway, let's moving on with the flight. So Metar in Gatwick, there is 2 knots of variable wind. I had to make a decision from history of which direction I'm going to take off from, and the wind is just all over the friggin' place, and we haven't had any wind since last report 8:50 a.m. Gatwick time this morning, and they looks like they had a bit of fog, and then it's cloudy, still no wind, hovering between some wind hovering between 1 and 3 knots. So we are going to take off from runway 26 left today. That seems to be the direction everyone is going in, going out from the sim today. So that's the direction we will take. We might as well flow with the traffic. Let's have a look at Aberdeen's weather as it stands now. So we're coming in on runway 16. I think there are 4 runways according to Flight Sim at Aberdeen. 3 of them are little tiny baby runways which we cannot land a jet aircraft on, so we will be using the main runway. And just with the wind direction, the best option is 16. So we will actually fly past the runway, do a complete and utter U-turn, and come back down and land from near north. Hopefully that wind doesn't change too much. It's been absolutely shocking in there in the last few days. And my first landing ever into Aberdeen on practice run was just shit. I'm pretty sure I just exited straight out of the flight without even taxiing, and without even, I don't even think I got my reverse thrusters on. I just went, no, I'm done, I'm out. So let's just hope for a different scenario today. Yesterday's practice run was pretty good. So we will be cruising at 34,000 flight level 340, all the way up. The game has automatically set me to 360, but I just don't think we'll be struggling to get to 360 for a comfortable cruise in this aircraft. We are running the CFM engines on this Latin VFR modelled A319, and just like the CFM engines in the A321 from the same developer, the climb rate is absolutely shocking. So I've opted to cruise at 340, so I will request a 2,000 foot drop in cruise altitude once we are airborne. Fairly busy in Gatwick today, as you can see. Someone taxiing behind us, heading to the runway for their takeoff. A lot of easyjets around. This is easyjet's home base in real life, and so a lot of you simmers do fly under the easyjet call sign, which is great. Of course, I'm flanked right now by two static A320neos from BA. BA do fly into this airport, of course, but this is mostly an easyjet base. We've got Wizz Air there. There's easyjet coming in or going out. I don't know where they're going. They're just doing a low flyover, or are they coming around to land? Another easyjet up there as well. Anyway, let's get started. So everything's all programmed as always. I like to do that off camera, and just so we can get flying as quick as we possibly can. So I've already requested IFR clearance, and we will be, our initial climb altitude, I think, is, it will tell me on our ATC window here. Where are you? You're 12,000 feet. Is our initial climb altitude today. So let's get a beacon on. We'll get the strobes onto auto. Batteries can come on, and we will start the APU. Again, I apologise for this really shitty camera. I don't know what's going on. And you'll just have to deal with my legs in the bottom of the shot. I am wearing shorts, so I'm wearing pants. It's okay. Oh, probably can start the APU as well. It's probably required. Why didn't it start? Did I double click it? I double clicked it. Okay. What the fuck is going on here? My APU start. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Come on. Okay, there is a fault. Oh, this is wonderful. Right at the start of the stream, there's a fault. I can't start the APU. Why? Why? I can hear it clicking in the background. Oh, come on. This is not good. This is really not good. Oh, there we go. It's staying on now. I just had to exit out and go back in again. Haven't seen that fault before. There was an update that I had to do this afternoon before going into the sim, and this is the first weird thing I've seen so far. Otherwise, it's been pretty smooth. I have done a flight in the Bredick 737, and that was rather smooth. Okay, so APU has started up. I've unrolled my landing lights. Get the APU bleed on. External power can come off, and we will disconnect the jetway. Oh, it's going to do a nice smooth disconnection today. Excellent. Oh, that's beautiful. And we will start our pushback as well. Going to get the fuel pumps on. And seatbelt signs better come on too, since the jetway has disconnected. Ignition into start, and we will disconnect the parking brake now as well. And we're pushing back. We will be pushing back. Oh shit, which runway are we? Oh, you're pushing back to the left. It will be. There it goes, while we're pushing back, we might as well get engine number 2 fired up so we are not blocking the taxiway for too long. And this is just the standard scenery for Gatwick. Again, on the Xbox, I can't seem to spawn into airports that I've purchased, so I haven't got Gatwick. I've only bought one. I bought Brisbane, which is my home base, and it crashes the desktop instantly when I spawn in, which is a real pain in the ass. I did start my turn just a little early there, but that's fine. It's not bad. Oh, there's someone. Sorry, dude. I am just backing out straight in front of you. You might have to go around me. Sorry. I really hate doing that with ruining other people's games. Anyway, parking brake can come on. Where are we at? We can start engine number 2. I'm really sorry, man. I'll tell you what, I'll taxi around you, even though you're a GA. You probably should not really be in the commercial space of the airport, but this is Microsoft Flight Simulator, so you can do what you want. Engine number 1 is running up. While we're doing that, we can put our set flaps to 1. I will arm the speed brake now as well. And I'll do my usual turn on AI radio comms. Okay, engine number 1 is just about up. There it is. We can put ignition back to normal. We'll get our APU can come off. Taxi light on. We will turn on our nav lights. Strobe. Yep, that's already on auto. And we should have our taxi clearance, because we did put that onto auto. Oh, that's not me. Oh, you know, there I am. Hold short runway 26 left via taxiway. Kilo Papa. Oh god, I can't remember my NATO alphabet. Anyway, I'm going to go around this dude. Just go out into the apron. I'm really sorry. I assume that's a player and not a AI aircraft. There we go. See, I am courteous. Even give way to general aviation aircraft. I brought that up too early. Wait until I finish my turn. This aircraft is really, this model is really shitty for taxiing. I think I have mentioned that before. It either wants to go full hilt, or it wants to stick to the tarmac. Yeah, I know, there was other traffic. Okay, so I want to turn right onto Papa. Excuse me. I am still, if you watch my last stream, I am still getting over this little bit of a cold. I'll try not to sniff, cough and splutter all the way through this stream today. Okay, so we will turn left here, and then it's, oh my god. Face to face with a generic. Oh, he's been told to, is that, yeah, they have been told to hold a position. Now I've lost my taxi vectors. Pretty sure I've got to turn left here. In fact, I'm almost certain I do. Let's check. Where is my... Here we go. There's no signs around that I can see. This is one of the problems with these just in-game produced airports, is the signage is really lacking. I'm going to get rid of it anyway. I'm pretty sure I know where I'm going. So it's just going to be a right turn and then straight shot up to the runway. Is it the correct runway? Yeah, it is. That's hilarious. Now there are 2 runways in Gatwick. So there's 26 left, which we're taking off from there, and then there's 26 right there. From what I understand, 26 left slash 08 right is the main runway, and then 26 right slash 08 left is their backup, which they only use when this runway is out of action for maintenance or whatever. And I've recently learnt that by watching the B1M channel on YouTube, where they actually had coverage of this runway being resurfaced overnight. So it was interesting to learn. I did not know that otherwise. Okay, so better get that ATC window back on. Where is there's the threshold line there. That's the another thing with this aircraft too, if I hit the brakes it just drops. And is it gonna, it's not gonna, okay, we're gonna have to auto, no, we're not gonna auto. We have to manually request takeoff. So 3001, so QNH is very different to what it is on Meta. But I have got, oh yeah, wind calm and clearance. So we'll get the landing lights can come on. We'll just double check our seat belts are on. No smoking was on as well. Flaps are 1. Speed brake is armed. There's definitely nothing coming in. No, there's not. Beautiful. And we will set auto brake to max now as well, because I don't plan on touching the brakes until, well, until we land in Aberdeen. So we've got quite a long runway threshold here in Gatwick, but we will start our takeoff roll shortly after lining up. I feel like I've forgotten something. Everything's on? Is that someone coming into land? It was, yeah, you've been given a go around. I've been given... Was that someone taking... Oh, I don't know. Anyway, nose is pushed down. We're going to get up to 50%-ish. Wind is calm too, so we shouldn't be all over the runway. Awesome, and up to flex. And maybe do a bit of left rudder. For no wind, that's unusual. Just to keep it centre line. I got to remember, this aircraft just jumps in the air. We're passing 100. I'm going to rotate there. Oh, that's much better than I have done before. Usually I just NASA it. Oh, that's gorgeous. See, drop the nose just a little bit. Yeah, drop the nose a lot actually. Going to lose that flap now. Just keep her going up. What are we climbing at? 3,200. That's about good. Leave it into climb. Wait for those engines to drop down to 88 or so. There we go. We'll go to autopilot. And we were climbing a little too high there. Autopilot has dropped us down just a touch. That is fine. See what ATC has to say. Yeah, no, there's traffic. Yep. Keep speed not above 250 knots, which we will do. Oops. I pressed that a little bit too early. Just manually key in 250 knots for now. 3001 is still a QNH. Okay, cool. What were we climbing to? I forgot what we were climbing to already. Was it 130? Yep. 120. Okay, cool. Well, we'll lose that until we get to 120. It's quite a nice climb out of Gatwick. And it looks like, okay, so when I put the flight plan in, everyone was taking off and landing in the opposite direction to what I have just done. So if I've just annoyed a crap ton of people, I'm really, really sorry. There's another company coming in underneath us. I can disarm the speed brake as well. That is no longer required. And we do have a right turn for around, it's about a 100-degree turn coming up as well in the next 12 or so miles. And then it's a straight shot pretty much north up to Aberdeen. Now when I do get up to the top, I'll bring up the VFR. Just scroll up to, got to remember to, we can turn off the landing lights now, we're above 10,000. We'll just keep it 250 knots until we are given our next instruction to go to following 13,000 feet. Anyway, back to this. So when we come up to here, I couldn't select an incoming vector on the ILS, even though they do have ILS. So what I'll do is about when I get probably just past the ATF waypoint here, is I will vector out slightly off course, sort of north-northeast, just to give me a nice turn to come back in to line up to the runway. Otherwise it will overshoot. And then I have to manually drop the aircraft down. It's a bit of a pain. So I want to have that nice and smooth coming in. So we'll do that obviously once we get to that waypoint. There we are, above 13,000. So we're now going up to 200. So I'm going to put the speed onto auto, which will take us up to 320 knots. Of course, this is where the shitty climb rate comes in until we do reach max speed at around 26,500 feet. Oops, I was going to adjust something on the stream PC and I just had the wrong mouse going. Okay, that's a bit better. I just couldn't see one of the volumes, that's all. Okay, that's our right turn now. You see our climb, it's 1,200 feet per minute. It's just shit. And while I remember too, because I have forgotten, is I need to decrease my cruising altitude by 2,000 feet. 340, perfect. And it's acknowledging it for me. We can get rid of that. So I'll bring the window back up when we come to just before we get to flight level 200. We can put our navigation display out to 320 knots, nautical miles as well, for the duration of the cruise. Oh, we've jumped up to 2,000 feet, or was it 2,800 feet per minute? Oh, because we've reached 320 knots. Let's have a closer look. Oh yeah, it was at 2,800 feet. So we'll rapidly go up and down the climb rate, which is a little bit annoying. Not as annoying as the really terrible colours of my webcam tonight. Love to know what I did. Don't think it's an OBS setting. Okay, so coming up to flight level 180, I'm just going to put the QNH to standard now. That was almost perfect. It almost held it at 180 there. Did I kill my landing lights at 10,000? Yeah, I did. I did do that already. Everything else looks fine. A little bit bumpy as we come out of London today. Okay, coming up to 200. See what it throws us up to next. I'm going to guess 270 and then 340. 260 is close. So I was looking up easyjet's fleet earlier, and I've completely and utterly forgotten what they how many A319s they actually fly. Let's just look on their website. I was looking on planespotters.net before, but let's look at. Oh wow, so apparently, according to easyjet's website, they have 126 Airbus A319s. I thought it was much less than that, but that's what they say. Oh yeah, cool, and they do fly the CFM56-5B engine type, which is what we do have on the aircraft in the sim, so that's pretty accurate. Oh, it's interesting. This I didn't know. So they fly, obviously 2 pilots, I knew that. 4 cabin crew in the A319s. They also fly with 4 cabin crew in their 320ceos and 320neos, and then it's just 1 more for the 321. I know of other airlines that fly 5 cabin crew in their 320 or 737 sized aircraft, and 6 in their 321 size aircraft, but easyjet do it with less, but they are a low cost airlines. That would make sense. See, our climb's dropped a bit. We're at 1900 feet, 1800 feet per minute climb now, but it should go up just a little bit when we do reach max speed at around 26,500 feet. Okay, coming up to 260. It should throw us straight up to 340 from now, I imagine. Oh, okay, 320, and then it'll be 340. Excellent. See how busy the skies are today. Oh, there's a few aircraft around. None that we can see from where we are yet. I imagine that will change as we make our way closer up to Scotland. Now, there's no actual gates at Scotland, at Aberdeen. So when we land, it's just going to give us options to for ground services which don't exist, and also for to take off again. So we can just pretty much make our way to whatever stand we want at the terminal. There's no jetways in the sim. I don't know what they have in real life. I do know that they do, easyjet do fly the A319 between Gatwick and Aberdeen, because I've seen the photos at the airport taken by multitudes of people, which is more or less the reason why I chose easyjet for today's flight. Okay, so we have passed 265, and I thought our vertical speed would have gone up a bit, but it seems to have dropped down to 1,500 feet per minute. Well, this is why I selected flight level 340 as our cruise altitude, not 360, because we'll just spend more or less quite a large portion of the flight climbing up to 360, only to then have to descend again. Just because of the poor climb performance of this aircraft. We are coming up to 3.2, so it should be telling us to go to 340. Pretty much there it is, right there. Climb, maintain 340, easy 553. We'll have a look at our ETA now. So 11:52. It's currently 11:01. It's another 51 minutes according to the flight computer calculations. But I expect that number to change. It's probably another whole hour before we are landing or have landed in Aberdeen. So once we have reached cruise altitude, seatbelt signs can come off, and I'm going to do something I've never done on a stream, is that go into drone camera mode and actually have a look through the cabin of this aircraft, because I have no idea what's in there, none whatsoever. I will have a look. I have noticed in this version, so Latin VFR's version of this aircraft, I can't select no cabin like I can on the A321. It doesn't make any difference in performance, I've found. And this aircraft, I mean, I haven't had, knock on wood, crashed a desktop in it yet, but the 321 I did, and so it was nice that they added in the no cabin option to sort of reduce load on the Xbox. Okay, so we're more or less just about pretty much leveled out. Let's get the seatbelt sign off. Just double check everything is still on. It is. While I'm talking about lights and switches, etc., I have heard back from Turtlebeach. Yay! They have acknowledged that there is an error with the latest firmware. So the latest firmware edition for the Turtlebeach Velocity 1 is 1.3.3, and they have said there is a Quadrant issue. They did say I can roll back to previous version, which I don't want to, because in the previous version my throttles would zero out. Not physically, obviously they don't move, but in the game they'd zero out. And if I was away from the sim for any length of time in autopilot, I'd come back to the aircraft at around 20,000 feet below where it should be and hurtling towards the ground. So I'm not going to roll back. I'm going to persevere with this one. It just turns on the lights and the landing and the landing brake, not the landing brake, the park brake, and so I can catch that before we land and reset that back to how it should be. But they have assured me that version 1.4 of the firmware is coming out, so it's a whole new. So going from 1.3.3 to 1.4. So I'll be keeping an eye out for that as well. And I did say in previous streams I am looking forward to getting the pedals, the rudder pedals. I will get them eventually, but like I said, they're over $400, and I just am not willing to spend that amount of money on such a device just yet. Christmas is around the corner. I do have to move house soon-ish, so I have those costs coming up, so I will not be investing in the flight pedals yet, and I will persevere with the rudder controls on the Yoke itself. Anyway, without any further ado, let's go into showcase mode. Oh, that's loud. I want to have a look and see what's in this cabin, because I haven't as of yet. Oh, there is a cabin. Okay, I kind of knew there was. Oh, it went quiet. I did know there was a cabin in this. Let's see if I can... Oh, we're going to go all over the place. Let's see if I can... Oh, Jesus. Keep it steady. They've got the easyjet logos in here as well. That's kind of cool. Whoops. Ah! Oh, there's landing gear. Hello. Let's go up the aisle. Oh, I'm just going to go through the seats. I don't care. I want to see what... Oh, yep, they're getting the... oh, fucking hell. They're getting the brunch ready. Oh, it's... God, that's loud. Sorry, this is really, really hard to control with an Xbox controller. Stop going up and down. I need to talk to my first officer about keeping the aircraft steady. Come on, man. Let's turn around. I should have done this on the ground. I'm going to drop into the luggage hold. Oh my god. Okay. Oh, hello, dude. This was a bad idea. Whose idea was this? Jesus Christ. Yeah, you ready for your break, mate? Oh, you're talking to someone who just... It's the disappearing, reappearing cabin crew. Hello. Oh, and she's playing a piano. And he's looking at his watch again. Ah, he's bored with the conversation. He's looking at his watch because he just wants her to shut the hell up. Oh, for crying out loud. What's in the lavatory? I mean, hopefully a lav. Let's have a look. Is there anything? Oh, there is. Oh, no, we lost it. Oh yeah, bit of a toilet. It's about right for the size. Oh, and the ground. Sorry. Okay, I'm done with that. Let's go back into the cockpit. That was a really, really, really stupid idea. I should have done that on the ground. Let's have a look at the ETAs. ETA 11:53, so we've gained 2 minutes to when we last checked. So that is going to be 46 more minutes until we are on the ground in Aberdeen. So like I said, short flight, it's only 419 miles. It's about the same distance from Brisbane to Sydney on the east coast of Australia. So just a really, really quick flight. We've already burnt through just over 1 tonne of fuel. I had 6 tonne in there, I've just got just under 5 now. Or do I have 6.5? Have we burnt through 1.5 tonnes of fuel? That's actually about right for our the takeoff and first hour. I've noticed this aircraft in the sim burns more fuel than the A320 does. This is probably actually more accurate to real life, but I have no idea otherwise. Anyway, I am going to take a quick 5-minute, as I usually do, because this is the uneventful, boring part of the flight. But we're almost coming down to, what are we, 240, so about 260 miles away. That can't be right. Is that right? Sure, let's go with that. No, that's not right at all. Because it's 320. 240, it's 280, sorry, 280 nautical miles away from Aberdeen. Plus we do have a turn back as well, because we are going to pass the airport and turn around and land from the north down to the south. So you're probably still 300 miles away. But anyway, I am going to just have a quick 5 minutes, and I'll be back. Of course, there will be a timer on screen, so there's no question of when I will be back. And I'll see you really soon. And we're back. Nothing happened while I was away. Apart from I had to blow my nose. I did hear a click. I'm just going to double check my lights. Oh yeah, my lights. Turn my landing lights on. It turned my strobe on to full. So we are still having that Turtlebeach issue. Turn my taxi lights on as well. It didn't turn my parking brake on. I don't think. No, it didn't. Left that off. It armed my spoilers again. I'm just going to, for OCD reasons, align that into CL. There we go. Oh, come on. Excellent. So now we're 240 miles away from final turn onto approach. Let's check ETA. 11:55, so we've gained another 3 minutes. Why? Because we have a bit of a headwind. 85 knot headwind. I'm just going to bring up the Metar for Aberdeen as it stands. What was that, 26 minutes ago? So not much of a change. The wind has picked up a little bit. It's now 7 knots. I think it was 6 before. So it is going to be a dicey landing into Aberdeen, which is a shame because I've had some amazing landings off stream in the A321 and the 737 MAX 8, but this little bird is just it's just not the best for landing. But I am working out its little oddities. Latin VFR, they definitely have modelled this differently to A320. It handles very, very differently. The approach is all the same, so I don't have to worry about adjusting speeds manually. I can let the computer do that all for me, and then just throw the flaps out, and it slows me right down for landing. It does put me at 130 knots for landing. I generally change that to 140, because 130 it just dropped down a little bit too quick. You lose a bit of lift, so I do adjust that. But it's the only manual speed that I actually tend to do. Oh no, I do drop it down to 160 before 140 as well, because it wants to keep it at 170. It's just a bit too quick. It's a bit too much of a gap between flaps at 3 and then down to landing speed. So I do make those adjustments. That's pretty much all I've found that I need to really do in this. Otherwise it flies nicely. Of course, I am getting a little bit excited for the A310 that is coming from, I forget who it is. Is it AnyBuilds? No, I think that's, I can't remember who's releasing it in conjunction with Asobo and Microsoft for the 40th anniversary of the flight simulator coming up next month. I have seen a few previews for it. It looks like it will be quite fun. They keep saying that it's near study level. I don't know how we're going to get a study level aircraft on the Xbox. I'm not holding my breath for anything close to study level for us console gamers. That is something I will delve into more when I finally do upgrade to a PC in the very distant future. If that ever happens. I'm reasonably happy with Xbox now. One thing I do have to say, and it is against Microsoft, is the handling of the error reporting, as they have. If you do fly in the sim, you will know they do have this upvoting system where you go in and submit your quarrels with the game, and then it has to be upvoted for them up to the top for them to look at. And of course all the PC stuff is at the top, so the cloud's looking not quite right and weather patterns not quite right, which is fine, I fully understand that, but us Xbox players get left in the dark and right down the bottom of the list. So Crash to Desktop was an issue for quite a few sim updates, stemming from sim update 7 onwards, and they've only just started looking at it after sim update 9 for sim update 10, which is disappointing. Considering we do pay the same to play this game as PC users, So I did submit a quite assertive bit of feedback to them, and they did come back. I wasn't rude or anything, but they did come back and they did say that they have passed my feedback on to the team who looks after the feedback and how that's handled. And hopefully one day we will see Xbox has their own troubleshooting and error reporting portal separate to PC users, because we do have different issues to PC, and we're sort of left behind a little bit, which is a shame, because I feel like this game was originally designed to come out on Xbox. I'm not saying it was designed for Xbox, but that was the plan the whole time, and they sort of leave us behind a little bit. Hopefully I don't have too many more issues with the with crash to desktop. I have had that a couple of times, spawning into airports, and even once on live stream at JFK last month. But I'm hoping that Sim Update 10 is fine. I'm a little bit nervous with Sim Update 11. Will we have the same issues we saw with Sim Update 9? We don't know. And as for testing, I have found out that they do test this on Xbox emulator on a PC, so they won't see the same issues as they do on an Xbox. I mean, it can't be hard for them to get an Xbox. I mean, I'm sure Asobo have that good of a relationship with Microsoft that they can say, hey, give us half a dozen Xboxes for testing, but I've heard that they do this through emulators, which is... I just don't feel like it's going to give them the same results as it would on the actual console, and hopefully us beta testers, hopefully the data we sent to them is enough for them to work out what the issues are. So let's have a quick look at VFR. This flight path will take us out over the coast just a little bit. So we'll just ever so slightly come up here and go past this cove, and of course we've got, is that Edinburgh? It is Edinburgh. Oh god, I knew that was Edinburgh. I've flown many times in and out of that airport in the sim. So we'll fly, we will fly well past Edinburgh. We won't be able to see it from the coast. Then we'll come back into Aberdeen, do a quick U-bolt and come down and land. Fairly straightforward. Actually, while I had that open, was there anything around? Oh, there's a few aircraft around. Not as busy as I have seen it on other British mornings. That wind has dropped slightly, 78 knots, coming across the left side of the nose of the aircraft. So let's check the ETA again, 11:58, so we have gained yet another 3 minutes, so just over half an hour until we're on the ground. Now, before I was talking about my excitement for the A310 coming, I did see a video that came through from Pilot Stud. He reported that the 757 is coming, and apparently it will come to Xbox eventually. I'm not sure what the time frame will be, but I'm not sure if that's going to coincide with Microsoft releasing or fixing up the WASM data, so they can port a lot of these PC-only aircraft into the marketplace, but if the 757 does come to Xbox, I will be getting that 100%. I'm still holding out for the PMDG 737NG series to come to Xbox, but I'm not holding my breath at all because, well, I'll probably pass out waiting. And nothing against PMDG for that. Their product looks absolutely amazing. It is getting raving reviews from the PC crowd, I wouldn't be disappointed if they couldn't bring it to Xbox, to be honest, because it is such an amazing model that they've created, and it would be more motivation for me to go and get a proper gaming PC. Yeah, it would be nice to have that. But I am making do with the Bredok 3D 737 MAX 8. I have found workarounds to actually make it properly flyable, and it's actually really nice to land and fly in general as well. Now that I've worked out all this little peculiarities, sort of dealing with the APU that starts up and doesn't stay on, which is a bit weird. It just means I have to start the engines on as soon as I start pushing back. That's the only thing I really have to do. But other than that, it has been quite nice to fly. Okay, so we're coming down to 160 away from turn to final, so we'll just reduce our scope down to 160 miles. Keep cruising for a little bit. We'll see if there's anything in on the ATC, see if they're talking to us. They're not. There probably won't be. There's not many aircraft around us. Be no proximity warnings. Of course, we are cruising past Manchester, so we are on the Manchester control frequency. Speaking of ATC, that's one thing I will do. Oh, okay, cancel that. My park brake did just come on, as you can see here, so I'll turn that off. I did a practice flight, well, not a practice flight for this, but I did a flight in a different aircraft earlier today, and did not have this issue at all. And yeah, so my taxi lights have come on. Oops. I pressed the right buttons, get those all turned off, and it turned off my beacon as well. Just put all this back. One thing it doesn't do, so I've got approach bound to a button down here on the Quadrant, and it doesn't activate that, and but it does sometimes put my gear down, and my gear is bound, gear up and down is bound on here. Oh, did it arm the spoiler? It didn't arm the spoiler, so it's very random. So I can't wait for that firmware patch update to 1.4 from Turtlebeach. Oh no, I was saying in my last stream, I've been waiting for them to come back to me. I realised I didn't actually submit anything to them, so I went into their website and typed everything out, and then it didn't actually submit because I didn't get an email confirmation from them. When I submitted the second time, I got an email confirmation straight away, so I think that's my bad. Which is pretty shocking. I mean, I work in IT. You'd think I would recognise if I'd submitted something correctly or not. Obviously not. I've noticed as we head further north, that headwind is dropping. It's now down to 74 knots. Still coming in from 301. And it looks like the wind will turn as we get up to Aberdeen. In Aberdeen, it's 220 for 7 at present. Visibility 6.25 miles. No cloud around. QNH currently at 29.88. I suppose we can have a quick look around the quite flat UK. Once we are coming up into Scotland, so they do have those rolling hills of Scotland. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure Scotland's the hillier part of the UK. Oops, get my camera right. I am a little bit judgy when it comes to hills and mountains in other places. I mean, I live in Australia, it's reasonably flat here, but I come from New Zealand where it is just one big line of mountain from north to south just about, and I do miss the mountains a little bit, but I love Australia as well, so it's sort of, it's a compromise I make. I live in an amazing country and come from another amazing country. But it is nice going home and breathing in that fresh mountain air and seeing those peaks that are snow-capped year-round. But having said that, I just cannot beat the weather of where I live. I live in Brisbane, in Queensland, which is on the east coast of Australia, and we just have the most amazing weather, most amazing tropical storms in summer. We are prone to flooding just a little bit. We had a bit of a flood earlier this year. People's houses went under. I didn't have access to my work for 3 weeks because our basement flooded and we had no elevators, and I do work on the 22nd floor of a building, so no elevators. I'm not climbing those stairs. I did it once to retrieve things for people who work in the office, and it damn near killed me because I'm not 100% fit, just your average sort of bloke, and 22 flights is a hell of a lot. In fact, we worked out it's closer to 25 because the from ground floor to first floor it's about 3 flights, because they have a huge big atrium in the on the bottom floor, and that's a long way up. So I'm kind of hoping that we don't have floods again, because I don't want to have to do that ever again. Okay, so we are slowly getting to our 120 mile mark away from our turn. So the engine will, the speed will drop down to 242 knots or thereabouts. Not long after we're 120 miles away, so pretty much exactly the same as this, as the 320, 321, and also the Bredux 737 does it as well. No idea if that's normal and if that's a real life thing. I do know I can change that in the flight computer before I set off, but I just tend to leave it as is, because in case you can't tell, I generally fly this less seriously than I would, well, then not me, but as pilots would in real life. A lot of this stuff is automated, which I'm quite happy with. I sort of do this for fun, not for seriousness. Except when I make a shitty landing and I swear my head off and curse out myself for such a poor effort at landing. So looking around, this is definitely modelled straight from the A320neo that comes with the game, but this is more the A321 that LFVR have sort of overlaid. There's no wear and tear. In fact, being the A319, the older of the three I've got, this would have a lot of wear and tear on the carpet. The seats would have a lot of wearing out as well. There we go, we're down to 242. But yeah, but they've done quite a nice job. Even though they have ported over the 320neo into a 319ceo, so it is not really that accurate at all. But it's still okay. Like I said, the handling of the size of the aircraft is modelled fairly well, I think. But we are just going to check. Okay, so we have been given instruction to descend down to 220. It probably will tell us to expedite descent because I think I missed that. So we'll just get our asses down. Got plenty of time to get down, so in fact I'm going to reduce, I'm going to bring our nose up. We'll descend to 1800 feet per minute to start with, and then I'll reevaluate once we get down to 80 miles away. I want to be about flight level 270 at 80 miles. close that until we're down to 220 or thereabouts. Check the ETA, see if that's changed. 11:58, no change. Cool. I'm actually kind of hoping to make up some time, but with that headwind, oh, it's down to 60 knots. So it is dropping as we get closer north. Once we do get to which I think from Ballard, I will vector more to sort of turn the plane a little more to the east to make the final two turns a bit more far away from each other. Oops, sorry. Erratic camera movements. I just hit the wrong button on the keyboard. Oh, that's exciting. Bit of a weather update in Aberdeen. So that wind has dropped down to 3 knots. So I would call that wind calm pretty much. It's still at 200 degrees, so that hasn't really changed much at all. It was almost at right angles to the runway when I was doing the flight planning, so I sort of took a gamble in the hopes that the wind wouldn't change too much. But if we look at not trends, history, see the wind, so they have had calm winds, but it's been all over the place. Wow. So between 9:50 and 10:20, it completely and utterly changed directions by 180 degrees. So that's interesting. But it's 11 degrees and clear, so a bit of a cool morning in Aberdeen today. But of course they are coming into, so they must be in autumn or fall, depending on where you're watching from. But yeah, so coming into the cooler months in Scotland. My stream view just froze on YouTube. I've got my own stream playing, so I can sort of just double check that it all stays online. And it just froze out for a second there. I think that was my end. I don't think the stream itself froze. I have thought that before, and then I've gone back and watched the replay and it didn't freeze at all. It was just me. It was just my shitty internet speed. Obviously, as I stream out and then watch my own stream back, so I'm sort of doubling down on the data a little bit. Okay, so I did say I want to be at least 270 by the time we hit 80, and we're well below that, so that is good. Means we can slow our descent down a little bit and not have to nosedive straight down to the ground. I'm just going to check ATC, see if they say anything. Nothing at all. Still down to 220. Oh, is there someone else flying in the area? Oh, behind us. Let's have a look. Let's see if we can see them. We should be able to. Oh, maybe not. Do some zooming and see what we can see. Oh, my Xbox controller just froze up. No, I can't see anything there. Okay, down to 80, so I'm just going to reduce that. I'm actually going to reduce our vertical speed to 12 for the final 800 feet or so. Let's see if ATC is telling us to go any lower yet. Not quite yet. I'll leave that open because it will give us another instruction very soon. Go descent maintain 160, so we should do that. I'm going to do that at 1500 feet per minute just for a little bit, because I feel like we have come down a little bit too low. In fact, we've come down quite low. Actually, what I'll do is I will reduce that even further to 1200 feet per minute. Just trickle us down just a little bit. I've got to keep in mind that I do have to, where did I say I was going to do it from? From Ballards. I am going to vector out slightly right, or to the more to the east. Just to lengthen that turn just a little bit. It's just a bit too tight, a bit of a hairpin. Not ideal in an airliner. And that wind out there has dropped big time. It's now down to 31 knots coming in from 251. So we are going to get a wind coming off the coast, I can guarantee that. So I am going to put the seatbelt sign on now. Another 19 or so miles and we will make a slight turn easterly, just a little bit. QNH for Aberdeen 29.88. So not much of a difference from the 29902 that we're currently punched in at the standard at now. In fact, it wouldn't hurt to put that in already, close enough to 18,000 feet. Go. Oh, apparently there's an aircraft off to our right side. Can't see him out the window. Cannot see them at all. Oh no, is that them? Is that a star or is that them? That is a star, okay. They're out there somewhere. Just a couple more miles, we'll make a bit of a turn. Just ever so slight. Just keep an eye on ATC, see what it tells us, but we're definitely more than low enough, which is good. Oh, my landing gear just went down on its own, and my park brake came on. Wow. I've not seen that happen in the Airbus yet. That usually happens in the 7.3. Landing lights came on as well. Yeah, my engines are screaming to. Beacon light came off. Seatbelt sign can stay on, and the spoiler did arm itself. Okay, interesting. All right, we'll see. Is it telling us to send any further just yet? 14,000. Okay, we'll keep doing that at 1,200 feet per minute because we are still sitting quite low for the distance away. We have passed Bixad. I got distracted by my gear coming down, and we will just ever so slightly do a bit of a right turn just to lengthen, like I said, lengthen that turn, that final turn on approach. Hopefully we don't have too many self-activating button issues on approach. It's really annoying when you're coming in and the landing gear goes up and the parking brake comes on and all sorts of shit happens. That's a little bit frustrating. But as I did say to Turtlebeach in my reply to them when they told me that there is a fix for it and I can roll back the firmware version, I did say I'll persevere with what I've got now, and pretty happy with the Yoke and Quadrant in the long run. Of course, this is the first time Turtlebeach have ever created a Yoke and Quadrant flight sim Yoke and Quadrant. I'm pretty sure they have never done it before. So a few minor errors here and there is nothing. We can pretty much call this like a version 1 hardware version 1. So it'll be interesting to see if they release anything in future, maybe like a side stick setup for Airbus, which I will probably look into, considering I fly Airbus more than Boeing at the present. Oh, we're at 140. Is it saying anything else? What else is it saying? 25. Okay, straight down to 2,500 feet. Okay, that's cool. I think we can do that at 1,500 feet per minute down now. We'll just evaluate as we go. What are we at? Yeah, 14,000. Less than 40 away from our turn. Please expedite. Yeah, whatever. I'm sitting low enough. Thank you, ATC. I mean, yes, descend and maintain 2,500 feet, easy 553 is what I should say on the air. But we will close that until we get closer. I think it might have gone just a little bit too wide. It's going to bring us in just a little bit. Plus that 30 knot crosswind is sort of pushing our nose out a little bit too. That might be a better line-up. For some reason we just lost navigation as well. I have not seen that yet flying this route, but that's interesting. Oh no, it's back. I'm just being paranoid. It does seem to be happening less and less with these updates, which is good. I mean, it's no big deal if you lose your auto navigation. You can just manually vector yourself in, but it just means it's just a couple more things to do. Not so bad in the Airbus considering they fly themselves, but can be a little bit painful. Okay, there goes our speed down to green dots. I'm going to put the descent onto auto so we can get that speed. Oh, I can't because I am manually vectoring. Okay, we're going to lift our nose up to at descent rate of 1,000 feet per minute, just so we can get our speed down to green dot, as it's wanting us to do. And we are pretty much at 10,000 feet, so landing lights can now come on as per my command, as opposed to the Turtlebeach error. Might just bring us up to 500 feet per minute descent, just to get that speed down as quick as we can. Once we hit 210 knots, I'll put the speed back to 1,500 feet per minute down. Don't want to be too high after being too low for so long. Okay, there we go. We'll drop back down to 1,500 feet per minute. So I've given myself about an 8 mile, I'm going to be about 8 miles out away from final turn by the time we get there, so that's fairly good. I'm happy with that. Did it give us a QNH? It should be giving us a QNH at some stage. 29901, so a little bit out. What's Meta saying? Is it updated? No. Still the same. Sometimes it's bang on because the Metar that I'm using, which I'll bring back up, this is a Metar-TAF app from the App Store. This is, I think this is close to real world weather. Sometimes it's pretty close in the sim, sometimes it's way out. But most of the time it's accurate, which is why I use it. It just saves me having to read the stupid ATIS scroll. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with that descent rate. Might just reduce it just a little bit. See if we can get that speed down to green dot. Sort of hover there at 210 knots for a little while. We've got plenty of distance to get down to 2,500 feet. So I might just leave it at 1,200 feet per minute descent rate actually, because that might work out quite nicely. I'm going to do a quick traffic check. Oh, hello. Can we see you? Can we see you? You down below or up? Okay, we should be on top of them, or they should be on top of us. Are they above us? Oh yeah, I just did see a glint, yeah, right there. Oh no, they're gone, I can't see them now. There, where the mouse is. Okay, I might just, don't need to get us down any quicker. Oh, that seems alright. No, we're 2,500 feet away from final approach altitude. Actually, from memory, I did have to take it down to 2,000 feet because it didn't line up as nicely as I thought it would. It might just bring us in a little bit more parallel to our turn as well. Check ATC, what are you saying? Are you saying anything? No, no change. Excellent. So once we're down to 5 miles away from this parallel here, I'll start putting the flaps out, because that would give us 10 miles to get flaps to 2 in preparation for landing. We have come down, we're still coming down too low, too quick, so let's change that to 800 feet per minute for the final 1,000 feet. I am just going to real quickly blow my nose because it's just started to run right as we come in for approach, which is great timing. Okay. So put that back into auto because we pretty much are at, oh, it's
2,500.
Yeah, sure. We'll put flaps to 1 now. Just a few more miles and I'll adjust our heading. So we have come in quite low. I'm just going to check all our lights are still all fine. They are. And we might as well arm the spoiler while we're here as well. Officially arm the spoiler. And let's check ATC. Are you saying anything to us? What are you saying? Nothing at all. It will give us landing clearance fairly early too. It did the other night. Okay, I'm going to start vectoring us towards approach. I just dropped the background of the of that, so you guys can actually see the vector path. So I want to make this final approach line here pretty much a 90-degree angle to where we're coming in from. It's a little bit further around, just a little bit more. And then once we're back on track, I will stick the auto heading back on as well. So just once we get a little bit closer, we'll go flaps to 2. And we'll drop gear on the turn also. So it's pretty bumpy coming into Aberdeen. It must be a thing for Aberdeen. It must be those rolling hills all around us that just cause the gusts. Because it has been like this. I mean, there's a good sign there. There's some wind generator turbines right there. So it must be a fairly windy area naturally. Okay, so at this point I'm going to drop my speed down to 160 knots. And we'll put auto heading on now as well because it should start turning us to the left. Hopefully that's not too late. But I will activate ILS as well so you can see where we are. Yeah, that might might misalign us initially, but it should line us back up. Oh, actually, that's not too bad. Well, that's okay. So we'll get that. Hopefully the horizontal diamond does intersect first. Runway is in sight. I can see it in the distance up here, and there is an aircraft on the runway as well. But we will activate the locator now. So that is activated. We can put that into auto. Have we got landing clearance yet? No, I've just got clear to land. There we go. Wind 200 at 7. Okay, so it says 3 on Meta, but we can activate approach now as well. And our go around, oh fuck. Our go around altitude will be 5,000 feet for this one today. And we will go flaps to 3. Keep the speed at 160. I did say I was going to drop my gear on turn, which I haven't done, so we'll do that now. There's the gear coming down. Beautiful. Now go into landing view. I will drop our speed down to 140 for final, for landing speed. Whoa, whoa, too far, too far. There we go. And we'll put flaps out to full as well. Yep, 1,000 feet. Auto brake can go into medium. We probably could get away with low. I have never landed with low brakes. I'm not sure what would happen. Flaps are, spoilers are on, flaps are on full. Landing lights are on. Seatbelt signs, of course, are on. Everything else looks good. And we are getting blown around just a little bit, but we can go into, I'm going to take a risk, and we'll go into, turn autopilot off, because we are just a little bit too high. Not sure what was going on there. We need to get down a bit. Come on. Go pull up just a touch. Get lined up just a little bit more. They've got that crosswind still.
400.
And now we're coming down to, whoops. I dropped the arse of it down. This wind is really erratic. You can see them going up and down if you see the ILS diamond.
400.
But this is why I'm coming in at 140, so I've got a bit more control.
300.
I'll keep her nice and low. Come on.
200.
Way off to the left. Bit of rudder, come on, get over. Don't fuck it.
60, 50, 40.
Whoa, we're tipping over, gonna drop the power. Ah, Jesus. Yeah, that was shocking. I don't want to blame the sim, but I did start rolling to the left quite rapidly. And I am blaming the simulator for that. It does that fairly often in the Airbus. Okay, there we go. Oh, I thought that was going to be a much better landing, but I'm okay. I'm at peace with that, really. But we are going to do a bit of a turn here. Oh, there's generic on the runway. Because we just want to do a bit of a turn and backtrack just a bit. Oh, we're going to go off the... Turn, you little bastard. Thank you. Turn ground, but for no reason. It's just going to give us takeoff options and ground services. So we can actually get rid of that. Don't need that anymore. We can turn the landing lights off, leave the taxi lights on, and while we're taxiing back, we'll get the, see if the APU will start up. I have no faith, considering the issues we had on the ground in Gatwick. Just tidy up some of the shit here as well. Oh, I had my go around speed set to 6,000. Go around altitude 6,000. Oh, probably can start the APU as well. Oh yay, it's going to work. Let's make a left turn here and we'll just head to the terminal and pick one of the parking spots. Get a bit more speed. So we're just going to take this first bay right here. We are turning violently fast. Oh, that was a nice lineup if I do say so myself. See how just touch the brakes and it just lurches. That'll do. Get the engines off. We can get the taxi light off. Come on, turn off. Turn off the nav lights and the beacon. Engine 1 bleed, engine 2, Gen 1, Gen 2. The fuel pump's off. External power can come on and the APU can come off, as well as the batteries. Turn the seatbelt sign off as well. There's not much point. Sorry, I'm just going to cough. Not much point in turning the seatbelt signs off because, well, there's no jetway, there's no stairs, there's nothing really to for the passengers to depart. We might have to deploy the slides to get the passengers off, and with their luggage, well, we can sort that out in some other way. But welcome to Aberdeen in Scotland. I have to say, I am fairly disappointed with that landing. It just at the last moment lost it and had to recover from a near roll. I know it's hard to see on screen. I mean, I was tipping to the left just a little bit, but I was rolling. I did have the yoke turned quite far to the right, as I'm doing now on webcam, to try and counteract that. It happens probably 1 out of every 3 flights in the Airbuses, and all of them, the 320, 321 and 19 now. So I am blaming Asobo for that because these aircraft are all based on their native 320 that comes with the simulator. But I am just making up excuses for a terrible landing, really. But no, other than that, reasonably happy with that. I'm still getting used to flying this little baby bus. It handles very, very differently to the 20 and 21. But that is today's flight. Thank you very much for watching. If you're watching this on the replay, coming up, the next streams will be this coming a Sunday morning my time, which is whatever time your time, Saturday night, I'm not sure. And that will be, we're back in my neck of the woods. So we're flying from Brisbane to Longreach in Australia. Now Longreach does have the Qantas Founders Museum, and they have modelled that in the sim. So we'll do a bit of a drone look through the Qantas Founders Museum as they have it in Flight Simulator. It is quite interesting. It's about an hour and 15-minute flight. We will have an RNAV approach down into Longreach in the 320. and that will be using the Bredox sound pack for that one as well. So it does sound a lot nicer than the standard aircraft. But that is what is coming up. So you can see the times there: 2100 Universal Time on the 15th, or 700 hours Australian Eastern Standard Time. Note that's not daylight saving time. That will be 0800 Australian Eastern Daylight Saving Time this Sunday on the 16th. So mark that in your calendars, or subscribe and turn notifications on, and you will be able to see that flight. Feel free to spawn into any airport that I do fly from and fly alongside. That is the whole idea of these streams. It's not just me talking to myself and making terrible landings. It is to get other simmers involved and flying along and having a bit of fun, talking about some Avgeek stuff in the chat if you would like as well. Again, thank you for watching, if you're watching this on the replay, or if you did manage to catch any of this live, and I will see you again in the future.